When I was an art teacher, one of my favorite art skills to teach was perspective. Let me show you how I used perspective to draw this mid-century modern chair. But first, here's a little bit about how I use perspective in my art and what it is. I relied heavily on perspective when I was creating my interior series and when I complete house portraits. It's a system that ensures your drawing looks like the space we see around us every day. Think about a row of trees or telephone poles and how they appear to get smaller as they go back in space. Here are the steps for 2-point perspective. First, you have the horizon line. In a drawing, this represents exactly where your eyes are. Next, you have your vanishing points. These go on either end of the horizon line. And you want to think of these as super strong magnets. Every horizontal line in your drawing needs to stretch toward one of these two dots. In 2-point perspective, you always start with a vertical line. That represents the corner that is closest to you of the object that you're drawing. In my case, it's a chair. Because everything is aiming toward those two dots, your line will naturally form a V. Lines going to the left point create the left side of the object, and lines going to the right point create the right side. Now that I have the sides created, I am going to add 2 more vertical lines to finish off this box. When I draw an object like this chair, I create a 3D box to carve my chair out of. This keeps it from looking too boxy. At this point in the drawing, I'm adding all of the different parts that are contained in the box I drew. The arms, the legs, and the seat. I continue using the vanishing points for any lines that would be horizontal. The parts of the chair that are closest to me determine the size of the parts of the chair that are receding into the background. When you're drawing in perspective, it's really important to make sure your lines are light because you will do quite a bit of erasing. When it comes to drawing the softer fabric and the cushiony parts of the chair, I just freehand the round edges. Here I am starting to draw the back of the chair. If you had a chair with a straight back, you would draw those lines vertical, but this chair has a slanted back, so I drew the line slanted. To form the back cushion, I just created another box, and then I go in and soften the edges so it doesn't look too boxy. To find the center of a side in perspective, you want to use an X. So that's what I'm doing here. From corner to corner of the cushion, I'm drawing an X, and that's going to help me know where to place my buttons. Even the top row and bottom row of buttons line up to the vanishing points. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used perspective, and make sure to check back next week to learn more about this mid-century modern chair and watch me bring it to life with colored pencil.